Travis Scott is undoubtedly one of the most influential figures in sneakers right now, arguably the most influential. And in 2024, Jordan Brand rewarded him with his own silhouette, the Jumpman Jacks, a shoe that I really like. I think it was a great debut. And Nike has also rewarded him with his own mashup hybrid of two 90s shoes, the Landsharks and the Spiridons, that just came back recently actually. And originally this mashup was supposed to be named the Shakadon, but they changed it, and now it is just a Travis Scott Zoom Field Jacks Light Chocolate. Now this shoe is dropping on January 17th for $170 in the United States. It is not the first colorway of the Zoom Field Jacks. The first one actually shock dropped on sneakers around the MLB All-Star game last season. I believe this is the first general public normal release of the Zoom Field Jacks, and first impressions of the shoe. I will say the silhouette of the shoe I'm just not a huge fan of. I don't know what it is. The forefoot strap maybe, the transparent nature of this part. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's the pull tab that I don't love. It's a little bit more prominent. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm just not a huge fan of the shape of this shoe. Colorway though, very nice colorway. White base sneaker with this dark chocolate brown. It's not like that kind of diarrhea brown that can look kind of gross on shoes. As I get older, I definitely start to appreciate brown shoes more and more. So overall shape wise, it's not exactly my favorite, but colorway wise, very, very nice. Now in terms of the materials on the shoe, there's a few things going on. So you see on the mid panel as well as the toe box. On the base, it is like mesh. And then over that on the toe box area, as well as the eyelets and the eye stays, that is actually just leather. And the leather on the shoe, it is very, very soft. It doesn't actually look super, super thin, but it can feel kind of flimsy because of how soft, extraordinarily soft it is. And the leather extends onto the forefoot strap as well. Just the strap, the materials on the rest of the strap is actually kind of interesting. So you see it is transparent and that part is textured. It's actually this solid plastic rubber piece. And then on the medial side of each shoe, you'll see cactus on one shoe poking through that forefoot strap, and then shark on the other side. Now the swoosh itself, it is also leather, but then on the ankle collar, it is actually textured. So it's not just smooth leather. And I will say the white parts of the shoe, the leather, it is not sail, not off-white, it is just kind of pearly white. Now what's interesting about this shoe, it doesn't incorporate the reverse swoosh on the big swooshes of this shoe, but then on the mini swooshes, on the medial side of the shoe, that is reversed. Now moving up the tongue, it is pretty interesting as well. So it is an exposed foam tongue. And the thing about this foam, it is almost very stiff, memory foam. If you go shopping for beds, you can have different stiffness or density of memory foam. And depending on how you like to sleep, you can get the very stiffest, most hardest type of memory foam. And this almost feels like that. This foam, it is not soft. When you first wear this shoe, and I'll get more to sizing and comfort later, but when you first wear it, you can definitely feel it. And when you just try to bend the tongue, you can feel it as well. And then right at the top, Nike branding, and of course, like a lot of Travis Scott shoes, you get Cactus Jack branding running down the side of the tongue. Now this shoe does come with one extra set of laces in this light chocolate color. So this very light brown versus light chocolate. Out of the two, I actually think I prefer that light chocolate color. So going with the extra set of laces, for me, I like darker colors. I really like that mocha chocolate, dark chocolate color on sneakers. So I think that works really well. Now wrapping around the booty of the shoe, you'll see, of course, Travis Scott's insignia. Now this time, they replaced the mouth with a Nike swoosh logo. So I guess it's kind of doing a grimace. And now you see this pull tab that actually says Nike Air Zoom Spiridon. Now, of course, half the shoe is inspired and mashed up from the Spiridon, so that actually makes sense. At least from what I can see, I don't actually see field jacks anywhere on the shoe itself. Now, in terms of cushioning for the shoe, very interesting as well. You get this foam midsole, and you see the pattern of the midsole directly referencing the Spiridon, and it is very soft. When you press down, it just feels very bouncy and plush. And in terms of the tech specs, if this is anything like the Spiridon that just came back, which I'm assuming it is, it actually came with full-length Zoom Air that was caged within rubber. So you see this outsole pattern that is slightly different to the Spiridon that just came back that had more these bubble shapes. But you see here in the middle of this cutout, you see Cactus Corporation. That is actually part of the Zoom Air unit. And you'll see the year 1997 on the outsole of the shoe. That was when the Spiridon came out. And then on the booty of the shoe, just in case if you're wondering if there's any air technology on the shoe, it definitely is. And again, I'll get more to sizing and comfort later, but just in terms of cushioning, when you put it on feet, I haven't actually worn the most recent version, the retro of the Spiridon, but when I put this shoe on feet, oh yeah, it feels nice. It's bouncy, it's plush. You're not feeling too flat to the ground. I have some nitpicks around the overall comfort of the shoe, but cushioning, it is way better, much better than the Jumpman Jacks that had like very minimal technology. You felt very flat to the ground, don't really feel much cushioning at all. But this one, much improved. And so the shoe, light chocolate, Nike branding, quality of it is just hot trash. It is nonsense. The box of the shoe, Jack on top, Nike branding as well. And the branding is actually like raised so you can feel that. Cactus Jack branding, of course. And the paper inside, it is branded. And that is also textured. I do like the attention to detail. Now in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. No idea how to size this shoe, so I just went true to size. And I will say it fits me pretty well lengthwise, widthwise, no real complaints. But it does take a bit of time to break in. Can feel kind of stiff around the toe box area, like around the midfoot area, partly because of the forefoot strap, but you can loosen it up. But I think the main thing that requires break-in time and can feel kind of stiff when you first wear the shoe on feet is this very stiff foam tongue, like especially down around the midfoot area. Yeah, I could definitely feel it. You really had to wear the shoe, break it in. It's not like a super, super heavy shoe. Inside your feet, the toe box area, when you're like walking, because of the mesh material and the very soft leather, that can feel pretty nice. Not a lot of break-in time there. But yeah, mainly around this tongue area, around the midfoot, definitely have to have some patience. But overall, as a package, comfort-wise, after that initial break-in time, I think this is going to be a very comfortable shoe. Now, if you're used to wearing like Jordan Retros or like Air Force Ones or Dunks, a lot of those shoes can feel pretty flat to the ground. They were designed for basketball originally. So basketball players want to be low profile. They can feel the court. And now if you're used to that, that may feel slightly different. You might need to get used to kind of the separation and the distance between your feet and the ground. But honestly, I think your feet is going to appreciate it because of the cushioning. Yeah, I really, really like it. And that brings the total sole score of the Travis Scott Zoom Field Jacks Light Chocolate to 28 out of 40. A pretty average score compared to other general releases. Now first, it is colorway. Colorway is very good on the shoe. The light chocolate brown and this light brown I think go well together. A white base sneaker, can't really go wrong with it. Now in terms of the materials, the leather is very, very soft. Can feel kind of flimsy when you press down on that area. But yeah, it is extraordinarily soft. But I do actually really like the tech specs on the shoe, which leads me to comfort. Very comfortable shoe if you can get past that initial break-in period of the tongue. It's very stiff, like exposed foam tongue. Even if you don't put your feet in, you're just like wiggling this tongue around. You can feel how stiff it is. That can be kind of annoying. But yeah, under your feet, it just feels bouncy, plush. I like the Zoom Air that's incorporated in the shoe. I think it's a very decently comfortable shoe. Now, in terms of the versatility of the shoe, I still think this is a bit too much on the trainer side to be very, very wearable. I know these types of shoes are like popular right now, but you know, hype goes in cycles. That's why you should never chase what's popular. Just chase what you like. So I don't think it's like the most timeless and classic silhouette, but the wearability of the colorway, super wearable. Brown adds a bit more of a sophistication to the shoe, I must say. As a person that is over 30 years old, brown is definitely my thing now on sneakers. So I like the wearability of this colorway. Now I must admit, I don't really know too much about Travis Scott's music. I'm one of those old men who like grew up listening to a certain type of music, certain type of hip hop, and it just kind of ended there. I never really discovered new music past a certain age. I still listen to the same music that I listened to growing up. I don't know too much about him, but his sway and influence on sneakers is undeniable. With that said, do I love the Field Jacks just like as a shoe? I can't say I do, just being honest, being 100% honest, one man's opinion. I really can't say I do. I think he has some really, really outstanding Jordan 1 Low OG colorways. The Jordan 6s, very, very nice. The MX1s, very nice as well. The Jumpman Jacks, I absolutely love. But the Field Jacks, not really my thing. But knowing him with his partnership with Nike and Jordan Brand, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with a colorway that just was so good that it changes my mind. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Travis Scott Zoom Field Jacks Light Chocolate. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come. So wear your shoes.